In the wee small hours of the morning, when the whole wide world is fast asleep, you lie awake and think about the girl and never ever think of counting sheep. Well, that's enough of my bad singing for the moment. It's to set the mood, or not, if not kill it, to think about the romances we've lost and maybe relive them in our minds. Some of the good times. Why don't you come with me? You know, when Frank Sinatra sang that song, it was about heartbreak. When I sang it, it was about heartburn, giving you some. It was not my intent. Funny how a smell, a sound, a piece of music like that can make us think back to younger days and different times. And I don't know about you, I don't sleep well during the night at all. Never did. So it's not an age thing, but it's exacerbated by age, no two ways about it. But I dream a lot now about things that were. Some of them are very, very pleasant to me. And if I could control it more often, I'd be thrilled about it. And I remember some of the good times. And I have conversations in these dreams that you would not believe. Now, in the dreams, of course, nobody listens to me anyway, but it's not as aggravating because I know it's not real. But what I do enjoy thinking about is the loves I've lost. And I look back fondly on the start of the relationships, no matter how they ended up. They all started about the same. Maybe you can relate. You met the person, they excited you for whatever reason, and however they did it. And you realized there was going to be possibly something special there. And you were excited about it. And you were obsessed on it, pretty much. It became a 24/7 event where you were constantly thinking about the next time, the next event, the next date, what you would do, where you would go, all of that. And you look back on it, or at least I look back on it now and say, you know, that was fun. I enjoyed it. Wasn't crazy about meeting the in-laws, or the potential in-laws. I've had more than my run-ins, more than my occasional run-ins with those. But I got through them somehow. But there was one relationship that got away. I won't go into any detail about it. But it tortured me forever, long past when I was married. And I certainly wasn't going to tell my wife about it because I already had enough problems in my marriage. I didn't need to add to it. But there was that one, and the interesting thing was we would see each other in business and whatnot, occasionally, not on a daily basis, for probably the next 15 or 18 years. And one night I'm playing a party where she was a guest. Now this was maybe a year or two after we had stopped seeing each other. And in this relationship, I kind of knew I was not the main squeeze, or I was a side piece. The main squeeze was in another part of the state in school. And I knew it, and I wasn't that upset about it. I was enjoying the fringe benefits. I enjoyed her company immensely. But one night, several years later, she's the guest at the party that I'm playing. And I spotted her early on. And I didn't go over to her. I don't know exactly why. I think I had a strategy, and it kind of worked out. But towards the end of the evening, I finally said, well, she knows I'm here, I'm playing in the band, and the band was cooking that night. We were doing a nice job. It was a nice 5-piece group that night, some real good musicians on it. Always was never the same musicians, you know, sometimes they would vary, but this night we were cooking, we were doing really well. And I was driving the band pretty good. That's what a drummer's supposed to do, by the way, in case you didn't know, back in the days of live music. So on our next to last segment that we're going into, I catch her in the audience. I walk over to her. Hey, how you doing? Long time. How you been? You look great. She was wearing a bridesmaid outfit or something like that. Actually, a nice one, hard to believe. And she looked terrific. And I could see that she'd been drinking a little bit. I said, okay, I have to get back to work. Hey, I'd like to run into you sometime. Yeah, I understand. That might be nice. Okay. Job ends about 1 o'clock in the morning. And by the time I pack up my drums and get home, I was taking care of my mom at the time. We had just lost her mother, so I was living with her at the time. And we were relatively new to Florida. So I hadn't really gotten out yet. I had been engaged once before, but that didn't happen, and I certainly wasn't married yet. I don't think I think I had met my wife, but I don't think our relationship had gotten to the serious level yet. So I'm getting home, it's maybe 10 to 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm about ready to hit it. I was having a little something to eat. I get a knock on the door. Guess who it is? You got it. And she comes in, and I can see that she's a little out of it. And she says, well, I've been here before, so I know the layout. Let's go to your room. Okay. Jumps on the bed. This is what you wanted, right, Stan? I said, yeah, but no. What do you mean, no? You know, come on. You've been wanting this. This is your last shot. I guess she hadn't been married yet. Maybe she was. I had no idea. I said, yeah, but no, I can't do it like this. What do you mean? I said, you're not sober. You know, God knows, I don't know if you're on a pill. I don't know what you're going to say tomorrow. I don't need this in my life. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You guys, I don't understand men. I said, well, I don't understand women, so we're pretty much even. Well, I'm leaving then. I said, yeah, I would hope so. I said, are you okay to drive home? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. I call her the next day. I can't reach her. Then I finally catch up to her at night. And I said, you okay? Yeah, everything's fine. What happened last night? I said, you see, that's what I was afraid of. She said, well, if you want, I'll meet you tomorrow night. We'll talk about it. So I met her next night. I met her at Holiday Inn coffee shop. I figured in case I had another opportunity and she was sober, I'd check into the Holiday Inn. If not, I was only going to have a cup of coffee or soda anyway. It didn't really matter where I had it. She said, you know, you blew it the other night. I said, yeah, how so? She said, you'll never get that shot again. I said, well, I'm sorry about that, but I'm not sorry I did what I did. Okay. I won't go on to tell you the rest of the story. The rest of the story was I would see her on and off again for many years after that in business and whatever. And once I ran into her while my wife was present. And my wife would run into her because she went to the same doctor's offices that I did at the time. And this was a lady who was working in the medical profession. And one day, she's right across the street. She had been doing some babysitting for a neighbor of mine. And we met in the middle of the street. We talked for maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Drove my wife absolutely batshit crazy. I heard about that forever. But the thing is, I still have the memory, and I cherish it. And as somewhat of a postscript, when I hear a song, or I see a young couple walking, or even an older couple walking, holding hands, and all of that, it makes me realize I still have the heart for that and a passion for that. And that's a nice thing to have as we go into the final years of our lives. I hope you have that passion as well. See you soon.